Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? Whiteboard Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good start of the week so far, midweek, I guess. Happy hump day. Wanted to shoot a quick video for you guys on Whiteboard Wednesday today and just talk about a common question we get a lot when we're talking. We say, hey, we buy your house cash. People are like, oh, so cool. So does that mean we get like a suitcase of cash or a bundle of cash at the closing table? And the answer to that is no. We don't just give you, or when somebody sells a property cash, they don't receive just like stacks of cash when they sell. So that's what we're talking about today. So cash versus traditional financing. When somebody sells or when somebody offers to pay cash for a property, what that means is that they're not working with traditional financing typically. So there's a couple variations inside of the cash. The truest, purest form of it is obviously you have the money in your bank account and you just wire the money from your bank account directly to the attorney's trust account, and that's how you fund the closing. But people also say cash, or that's a terminology that can be used when people are funding deals through a couple of different avenues. So cash has also been used synonymous in our experience in just non-traditional bank financing. So let's say I'm buying a property and we always say, hey, we're gonna offer you to pay you cash for it. That might mean that our money's coming from an IRA account, or it could be that we're working with somebody as a private lender. And so the cash, or the barrier, the difference between the traditional is these options, or when you're paying cash, it's not contingent on like an appraisal or a home inspection report, or just different things of that nature that a traditional, like say, mortgage is going to require. You're doing this is being funded based on the person who's making you the offer, based on their ability to process the information and make an educated decision on what they're wanting to or willing to offer for a property. So a cash sale means it's being funded directly, out of somebody's personal bank account, or it's coming through some sort of private or specialty financing through like a 401k, self-directed IRA account, private money, etc. Traditional, as you all know, we talked about this a little bit before. Typically, you're gonna have to jump through the hoops, make sure that the property appraises. So with traditional financing, everything could check off. You go through, you agree on the price of the house, and then you've got more hoops to jump through. You gotta get an appraisal. Well, what if you're selling your house for say $200,000 and you find somebody who's willing to pay you $200,000, but the bank or the mortgage company comes back and says, hey, that house is only worth $180,000. That's a big deal. There's no way, you can ask for the appraisal to be done again, for them to reconsider, to look at new information. But if they don't feel that it's worth the asking price, it's not gonna happen. And then same thing with the home inspection. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't mind that there's a hole in the roof, I'll fix that myself down the road, or whatever the case may be. You might not be able to get financing on the property if the home inspection report doesn't, give it its thumbs up approval. And then here's the other thing, is your buyer's credit. I've never experienced this person, but I've heard stories, people 2-3 days or a week before they're supposed to close on the house, they're very excited, they're moving, and maybe that buyer goes out and buys a new car or applies for a new credit card or any variety of things that have to do with their credit, and then all of a sudden the bank decides not to make the loan anymore, and then the seller, you're kind of going back to square one. And so that's really what we mean when we say, hey, we're offering you cash, which is what we do. We say, hey, we're gonna pay cash. Is we are making an offer based on our ability to make it happen and it's not contingent on an appraisal or a home inspection or our credit, etc. We're making an offer based on the property itself and what our personal valuation is of it. So that's the major difference. And don't get me wrong, anybody who says cash, us included, like, we make mistakes and sometimes we do mess up and not everything goes smoothly, but things are definitely going to go smoother typically in a cash sale than in a traditional sale. And hopefully that demystifies that concept a little bit and kind of sheds light on what it means when somebody says cash. We're not walking in to the attorney's office with a suitcase of cash or anything like that. The money shows up same way, goes into the attorney's trust account, and then gets dispersed to pay whatever fees or mortgages, etc. need to be paid before the seller gets their net proceeds. Hopefully that made sense. Feel free to comment below, reach out to us. Happy to dive into this a little bit more. This is supposed to just be a quick overview. Once again, my name is Rodrigo with Asheville Cash Buyers. This is just another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in.